Josh.
Hello everybody, thanks very much for coming out tonight, appreciate it, supporting a good cause. Well done, you can all give yourselves a nice pat on the back, you've donated to charity, you've done your bit, now you can go on and live your life in whatever way you see fit. Now I've been thinking a lot recently about what it is that comprises my personality, right? I've been thinking a lot about what comprises my childhood, what is it that contributed to my upbringing. And I think that the main factor that I arrived upon was originally my Jewish upbringing. And I was thinking, well, I mean, I was worried, I didn't want this to define me. I mean, I've recently kind of put aside my Judaism, I'm an atheist now, and I was thinking, well, you know, is this something that I want to define me? I mean, it may define me whether I like it or not, but I wanted to move away from this. And you know, as I was growing up, I had predominantly white Christian friends, all right? There's nothing wrong with that, mind you, there's nothing wrong with that, but predominantly white and Christian. And I kind of became the token black guy, all right? Now, I have no problem being associated with the black community, mind you, all right? The music that they're doing and everything, that's awesome, respect. And no, seriously, you know, like, what I'm trying to think of some music that they do. You know, Shorty with them apple-bottom jeans, boots, with the fur, all that. I mean, that's great. They're singing about me. Shorty? Yeah, totally understand what's going on there. You know, I can relate. The difference was, you know, I was the token black guy, I was actually the token Jew, and instead of just eating copious amounts of fried chicken and them actually being secretly afraid of me, they just kind of dropped coins on the floor and watched me go pick them up. I mean, it got so bad at one point that I would go and eat bacon sandwiches at parties as like a party trick, like look at me, fucking eating pork. And I decided that this was so overwhelmingly negative. I decided, look, I've got to distance myself from this. There's got to be another direction I can go. So I thought, well, what else comprises my childhood? Well, I was raised by an American family, and every summer I did all the kind of things that you think Americans do. I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, drank from water bottles, and drove vehicles, and had an IQ under 40, and all of that stuff was consistent with my childhood. And actually, I really fucking enjoyed growing up in America. I mean, summer camp, really, really great time. And yeah, I thought last summer actually that I would go back and what I would do was I would actually be a counsellor to some of the boys that I kind of wanted to have the same experience that I did, give back to the next generation kind of thing. And and I went out there with the best of intentions, and it actually turned out really, really horribly, and I'm pretty sure I permanently traumatized a bunch of the kids. I mean, I'll tell you the story. So I went out there, and I'll set the scene. There's a wooden cabin. All right, there's a wooden cabin. It's out in the middle of the woods, and I'm there with one co-counselor who's about 17 years old, and 7 8 and 9-year-olds. And yes, it's as creepy as it sounds. All right. Now I'm out there in the middle of the woods, and we're about 2 weeks into a month-long session, and things are going well. I'm confident. I think I'm doing a good job, and I wake up in the middle of one night, and there is just screaming in the cabin. Just the most blood-curdling screaming. And I wake up and think, well, fuck. One of my kids is being mauled by a bear or a wolf. Worst case scenario, there's a moose in there and it's got, one kid impaled on like all the little bits of its antlers. It's like a fucking Christmas tree with like kids decorating it. And all these scenarios are running through my mind. And then the first thing I think is not, fuck, I gotta go in and save these kids. It's, what the fuck am I going to tell their parents? Like, oh yeah, some wolf dashed your kid's entrails all over my cabin. Oops, sorry, fucked up. I wasn't even thinking like go in and save them. I was just thinking, what the fuck should I tell my parents? And I wish it had been a moose attack, because it would have been so much easier to explain than what I walked in on a few moments later. So I walked into the cabin, and the scene I see before my eyes. Well, I look over, I look down here in the corner, and there's George. George is just crying. George is crying in the corner, all right? And I got Jim up here, and Jim, he's looking like he's about to throw up. And they're all looking over to my other side, so I direct my attention over at this corner, and there's little Timmy. Oh, little Timmy. And he is just covered head to toe in fecal matter, right? So he's just plastered in shit, right? He's got big clumps of it in his hair, all over his face. It's on the top of his sheets, for Christ's sakes. It's fucking everywhere. I'm like, great. Timmy shit himself. How am I going to deal with this? Because there's no training for this kind of thing. I mean, sure, they teach you how to, like, deal with, like, some kid pisses himself and hides his underwear on the cabin. Like, that happened twice during the summer. Like, kids will do anything before they tell you. Poor Timmy doesn't have that option. He can't be like, oh, I was painting a collage of mud and you walked in on me, right? So he's covered in shit. So I'm like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. Talk to my co-counselor, who's looking a bit green at the whole scene, and I say, look, buddy, look, you change the sheets. I'm going to take Timmy out, hose him down in the wash house. We'll sort this whole problem out. No problem. So I take Timmy up to the wash house, hose him down, all right, bring him back down, and of course my co-counselor, in his infinite wisdom, has not removed the kids from the scene. So now George and Jim have fucking thrown up because the whole scene is so terrible. So now there's sick everywhere, and we've got to deal with that too. Anyway, we bleach the whole cabin, get most of the kids back to bed. Now Timmy's on the porch with me, and I'm like, look, this is a real turning point. This kid's either going to be traumatized for the rest of his life. For a start, these kids are probably going to bully him. He's probably thinking, well, how the fuck am I going to reconcile this with myself? And I'm like, you know what, the best way to deal with this situation is I'm going to tell a story about myself, all right, so I can relate to him. All right? I want to be able to relate to him, I want to be able to make him feel comfortable. So I launch into the story of the summer of 1997, all right? Little Josh Rosenberg, he's on a trip to SeaWorld, all right? Now, I know these things don't exist in England, so bear with me, all right? So in America, there are these gigantic pool setups with slides and all this kind of stuff, with gigantic Americans walking around. Most of them aren't white, by the way, at this point. They're just red, just sunburned. A sea of sunburnt red people, all right? And I'm standing at the top of one of those really steep yellow slides. You know, one of the ones where you go like this, at the top, right? You go like that, and you slide down really, really fast, really great fun. So I go down that, I get to the bottom, and you know, I pull my swim trunks out from between my butt cheeks because it looks like I'm wearing a bomb at that point because you go down so fast. And I'm pretty pleased with myself. Worked up a lot of courage to go do that. And I decide that I actually feel like I kind of need to go to the bathroom, like really aggressively. But I'm in the middle of SeaWorld. This place is huge. I have no fucking idea where the toilets are. So I start walking around, leisurely at first, trying to look casual. You know, that over-casual, I need to fart or I need to shit walk that we all do. That just kind of like, yeah, no fucking big deal. I'm just walking like this. This is how I normally walk, right? Like, exaggerated bob. But now it's more serious. So the bob kind of turns into it's a little bit of it's kind of an awkward jaunt. And then it's kind of crisis mode, and I'm kind of doing this like cowboy going in for a showdown kind of walk around SeaWorld, all right? And I finally see the bathrooms, all right? And of course, at this point, I'm still like a Jewish-minded kid. So to me, you know, the scene looks as follows. You have a sea of red people partying, and like Moses, I'm standing there, and I'm looking down at the toilet area, right? And a shaft of light comes down from on high. And the choirs of angels, they were singing. And everybody in the universe was behind me in my endeavor. So I charged with great verve down the middle of these people. And I got about halfway, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going great. I may be 20 meters out, and all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Of course, I didn't make it. So I'm still running at this point. And to slow my run, right before I got to the bathroom, well, that would just make it fucking obvious to everybody around me what's going on. So I continue my run all the way to the door. Now, I head in, and I've already come to terms with what's happened to me. I have a plan. I have a plan in my mind about what is going to happen at this point. I'm going to go in. I'm going to clean the shit off my legs. Then I'm going to clean the shit out of that weird mesh basket that we all have in our swim trunks that no one fucking understands why it's there. Right? Then I'm going to wipe my ass. It's all going to be a lovely picnic, and I'm just going to walk out. No one is ever going to be the wiser. If only it had been that simple. I sat down, examined my legs, and there was nothing on them. Then I look in the basket, that lovely little hammock, right? There's nothing in there either. I wipe my ass. There's nothing on the loo roll. So now I'm thinking, fucking hell, we've got a phantom shit situation, all right? This only happens once in a person's lifetime. And I'm thinking, well, my God, I mean, I've witnessed a miracle. I've participated in something great, and then it hits me. Holy shit. Holy shit. I've left a poo out on the deck somewhere. So now I'm fucking outside and I'm looking around, I'm hunting for this thing. Is it in the pool? Is it under a deck chair? A good 5 minutes I'm looking for my shit that's just around the pool deck somewhere. And then I realised, Jesus, it could have like spaghetti through the mesh. I could be looking for hundreds of micro poos all over the place, but I don't see anything. And then, this is a young person's logic. I'm like, hold on a second, why the fuck am I looking for this thing? All right, if I find it, what am I going to do? Pick it up? I'm not going to claim ownership of the goddamn thing. And then I'm like, Jesus, well, I shouldn't even be walking around. Because I know that if I come across a group of people all standing around a shit, just sitting there and tutting, right, they're going to look up at me and they're going to know. They're going to fucking know that it was me. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I've just gotten away with shitting in the middle of SeaWorld. And then I feel, oh man, I actually kind of still need to go. Well, fool me once, all right? I know where the bathroom is. I head right over there. And after I have a bowel movement, I look down into the basin, and again, there's nothing there. And now I'm starting to get really concerned. I'm really concerned. And you know, you can always just squeeze that little bit extra out, and I'm like, look, I'm going to fucking get to the bottom of this. So I'm like this, I'm sitting on the toilet, I'm having a little pee, and it all became clear, ladies and gentlemen, it all became clear right then, when I realised that what had happened is about 3 gallons of water had been shoved so high into my arse, having gone down that really steep slide, and I'd just been shitting out water running around SeaWorld. And oh god, it's a really, really crazy story. So anyway, now Timmy, he's just looking up at me, alright? And Timmy, he is just shocked, alright? If he wasn't traumatized before, he's certainly traumatized now. At this point, you know, no amount of therapy is going to remove the story from his head that I've just imparted upon him. But, you know, he looks up at me quizzically and goes, Josh, that's a really great story, but I didn't shit myself. I'm like, look, buddy, there's a lot of evidence to the contrary. Like, my story ended with me not shitting myself. Ha ha, big laugh. The point is, I understand your embarrassment. We're connecting. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Now, he looks up at me and he's really going to play this. He goes, no, Josh, I swear to God, I didn't shit myself. I said, well, what happened, buddy? I mean, going through my mind, poor kid's just, he doesn't know how else to deal with this other than complete denial. And I swear to God, he looks up at me, and he just goes, no, Josh, George shits on me. Thanks very much, guys. Happy Josh Rosenberg, cheers.